Welcome back, everyone. CJ here for RD3. We are here at All Aboard Expo 2026 here at Quezon City. We have a special guest today with us. He designed Foundations of Rome, Century, Spectre Ops, and Metal Gear Solid, the board game. I saw it. I haven't played it, but when I saw your profile, like Metal Gear Solid board game. Wow. Sir Emerson Matsuuchi.
Yes.
Sir, welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
And welcome to the Philippines as well.
Thank you.
So my first question to you, your games span very different styles or very different genres, like Century, Spectre Ops,
Yes.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
How do you reinvent yourself across the different genres?
It's not something I intentionally do, so I don't have intentions of trying to be different, but I just tend to work on the games that I'm most excited about. It just so happens that they can be quite a bit different. So I do have some upcoming games that are also going to be quite different than what I did before, but not by intention. More that I was just exploring something that I was really excited about.
Oh, it's more of like what you want to do.
Yes.
Like no one's telling you to do so. It's just you.
Well, actually, some people are telling me to do things. So I do work on IP related projects. So I'm working right now. I can't mention which IPs, but I can mention that I'm working on a couple of video game IPs. So they'll be more similar to Metal Gear Solid. I did my most recent game that was announced was Vampire Survivor, which funded on Kickstarter. So that one's also based on a video game as well. Yeah, very popular, a reverse shoot 'em up style video.
So for everyone who loves Sir Emerson's games, please watch out. Not just loves Sir Emerson's, loves board games and tabletop games. Please watch out for those games. That is, we cannot disclose it here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't mention what are the other projects that I'm working on yet, but hopefully later this year, some of them might be announced.
Watch out, guys. Next question, sir. How is your experience with All Aboard Expo 2026? Right?
It's been fantastic. They've been taking really good care of us, and so it's been a great experience so far.
Another question is, as a designer with Asian heritage, Western-dominated industry like the board games, what would you tell aspiring Filipino designers?
I should also clarify, ako ay Japanese, pero taga-America ako. So I'm very Kano, I think it's a term.
Yes.
So Kano ako. But my family is very Japanese, so I'm American, but I have a lot of Japanese sensibilities. So I'm culturally very Japanese. But when it comes to Filipino designers, I think perhaps one of my strengths was that I do lean into my Japanese sensibilities. And I think that the culture can play a big role in it. So I think that the Filipinos, I think that there are a lot of things cultural that they can lean into their design, because the games are like art. They're similar in that they're a creative product. And so with each of these creative products, usually the artist will infuse it with something that is distinctly them, right? So by infusing your culture, it's going to give it a very distinct flavor, right? Something that makes it unique among all the other products that are out there. So just as an example, here at All Aboard, I saw a game that was about traveling the Philippines, and it caught my attention because I was interested in travel around the Philippines. Unfortunately, I've only been to Cebu here in Metro Manila, but I'm very interested to explore the other areas of the Philippines, like Palawan, even like Mindanao. Areas in Mindanao. So I think that those that theme and that the uniqueness of it, because there aren't as many Filipino games.
Yes.
So I think that's one thing. The other thing that I would certainly lean into for the aspiring designers is that oftentimes, because we design a lot of games, sometimes our thinking becomes a little rigid. We tend to lean into mechanics that we're already familiar with. We tend to fall back on certain things that we're used to,
Yes.
right? And so, but as a new designer, it's a whole concept of having the beginner's mind. So the beginner's mind tends to explore more innovative design space, right? They're more creative. And so I would say that, I think that's one of the strengths is that, because the board game culture here is very, very new, there's a lot of things that you probably see, or there's some innovative combinations of experiences that you guys can put together just because you don't fall into those like rigid grooves. Like we've created like little rigid grooves that we sort of fall into. So if you could think sort of with that mentality that you can create something very, very new and different because of the fact that you haven't, had as much experience or there isn't a very established industry. I think that's a possible strength for aspiring Filipino designers.
That's a really great advice for aspiring Filipino game designers because I went to another convention a week ago or 2 weeks ago. There are a lot of Filipino designers that want to showcase their games, and maybe once they watch this, they want to develop more
Yeah, I hope so.
and maybe grow the board game industry here in the Philippines.
Yes, absolutely. That's the hope.
That's our goal for not just in the Philippines but in Asia as well. Because board games bring not just board games but tabletop games bring people together. It's just really good because you make connections, you make new friends, and I've discovered all of my friends here by playing board games.
Yeah,
So
yes, it brings people together.
it really brings people together. My final question to you, sir, is what's the secret to designing a game that feels smooth but still rewards strategy?
Okay. So the short answer is a lot of testing, a lot of work, a lot of iteration. But a more specific answer, specific to the style of development that I do, is that I have a notion of something called touch points. And I defined it. So it's not a term that you'll find in the dictionary or on Google, but it's just something that I use with my own game group and within the circle of designers that I work with. That we take a look at every time a player interacts with any of the game pieces. So each time that a player has to interact with the component, we call that one touch. And so what I like to do is to catalog what are all the touch points in the game to see if there's anything that's unnecessary. Can we reduce that number of touch points? So, and in many ways, just by being very conscious of it, like considering that as something to look into, I tend to find opportunities to streamline it, make the experience a little more, like you said, more smooth.
More smooth. Like it doesn't have any rough parts when you play it.
Yes, we try to polish it as much as possible, and that's one of the ways. Is that we make a conscious effort, or at least I make a very conscious effort, looking at anything where the player needs to keep touching the game. The more they have to touch the game, right? The more it's taking away from the time that if they have to interact with the game a lot, just moving pieces around. You're spending less time enjoying the game and more time doing upkeep or managing the board state of the game.
More thinking of what's happening at the table than just letting go and just enjoying.
Yeah, you want to make the experience really focused on what the players find fun and anything that distracts them. But it may be necessary things, right? So like moving a score track may not be exciting, but it's a necessary part. So, but what we try to do is to remove anything that's unnecessary for the players to have fun.
Thank you very much, Sir Emerson, for granting us the time for this interview. Maraming salamat po. Again, everyone, please follow Sir Emerson in all of his socials. Where can they find you, sir, and all of your games?
Oh, actually, I'm not. I'm really, really bad at social media. But probably the best way to reach out to me. Oh, that's a really, really good question. Actually, probably not away right now. So I'm actually creating a new brand under my company. And so I will be creating, the usual, the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook page, and things like that. But that'll be announced a little bit later this year.
Hello, I'm Rob Daviau. I'm a board game designer.
Sir Rob, is it your first time here in the
It is my first time to the Philippines. It's my first time to this table, too.
So, welcome to our table.
It's fascinating. It's great. Thank you.
How is the Philippines treating you?
It's treating me very well.
What's your favorite Filipino food that you've experienced?
I was just talking about that, which is... where was it? It was down here.
Oh, lugaw.
Lugaw, but I understand that just means porridge.
Yes.
And I had the one with ginger and chicken, which is
arroz caldo.
arroz caldo.
That's a very good.
It made me understand what you got when you were sick, and probably what your grandmother made you. Like this, it was just so comforting. First thing in the morning, I just loved it.
First thing in the morning, especially when it's raining outside.
Oh, I understood the Philippines a lot better after the first bite.
After the first bite of lugaw.
I've had lots of other things. I don't remember the name. I've had lots of very good pork and beef and chicken and fish in various sauces. With guys, your rice game is fantastic.
But we love rice here.
You love rice, and it's so easy to make rice poorly. And in the United States, rice, you're always like, this rice is awful. And every time here, I'm like, this is really good rice.
Yes. Every meal, we don't forget to have rice.
You're very good at it. I would eat it all the time if I lived here.
Yeah. How is your experience with All Aboard Expo 2026?
I have barely scratched the surface because I was there at the opening ceremony. I was there for an hour, and then I've been whisked about to give talks and do interviews and stuff like this. So I've seen very little of it. But it's day one. I get 3 more days. So far, it's great. I mean, it's well organized. People are excited to be here. I just haven't been on the floor.
Maybe tomorrow we'll see you playing games downstairs.
I'll be playing games or talking about games or hanging around, causing trouble. Keep popping out to the food trucks to try something new.
Oh yeah, the food there is great.
It's not trucks, but the food stalls.
Yeah, the food there is great. They have a lot of Filipino food there as well.
So I went today and I'm like, I want that and that and that and that. Like I got it all planned out.
Sir, here at RD3, we are a tabletop gaming content creation space. We love board games, but mostly TTRPG games. My first question, sir, legacy games tell permanent stories.
Yeah.
How does that compare to TTRPG campaigns?
It's the same thing. I just love role-playing games. I just found a way to take board games and turn it into my hobby of role-playing games. Anytime you play a legacy game, I'm just basically being your GM from a distance in 2 years in the past, probably.
What made you start doing it?
It's just a weird idea I had one day, and it didn't necessarily say come from role-playing games, only after the fact that I realized, this is a lot like episodic TV or role-playing games, or role-playing game or you do something and then you pick up on the next one. Okay, here's where we were, and you made these decisions. Now, it's not as open as a role-playing game, because it can't be, but it was just this idea of what if the second time you went to play a game, something that you did the first time carried through. And it's a little bit like if you play Scrabble. I don't know how popular Scrabble is here, but if you play some games where you're writing on pads or drawing pictures or something, often you throw those in the box.
Yes.
And then you take it out your next holiday and you're like, oh yeah, remember?
Yeah, we played that.
You played that and you drew this picture and we all laughed because it was so bad, and that's why we kept it. Like, there is a memory to games that wasn't being recorded. The games always went back and lost all their memory. And I'm like, what if games had a little bit of memory? And then it turned into something that was much more role-playing.
Next question, sir. What is the biggest game design lesson you've learned over your 20 plus years?
28 long years.
28 long years, very exact.
Half my life. Well, it's just a weird year. I've been 14 years at Hasbro and 14 years out, and 28 years, and I'm 56, so it's half my life. So it happens to be a year with a lot of milestones. I've learned hundreds of lessons and probably forgot hundreds of lessons. For the number one, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Like, it's the type of thing like every time I sit down to make a game, I'll say, "Woo, I don't know if I can do this," and then I say, "Well, maybe I'll get it right on the first try." It is a constant exercise in optimism that you play it and it's bad. And I'll say this with, I have a design team at Restoration Games and we'll make all these changes. I'm like, you know what? I think we fixed every problem and we got it this time. And we all laugh because we know it's not going to work. And then it doesn't work and you get sad and then you go, oh, let's fix it. Now this time we got it.
You go back to the
And
drawing board.
eventually, months and months or years later, you're like, oh, we finally did get it. But it took 40 tries or 30 tries or 20 if you're lucky.
What's the longest time period you've developed a game?
Three or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on a lot of games at once, and sometimes you put it aside for a couple months and then pick it back up. It's most of the time when I say, yeah, I can work on a game, you're looking at 1 to 2 years of design and development till I feel like it's good. And you can, if it was the only thing I was doing it, you could rush it. You could probably do it in 6 months if it's the only thing you're doing, but you couldn't make it 3 months because if you just do it every day and rush it, you just do a bad job. You have to take a break.
Take your time.
Yeah, just do something and then come back a couple days later and go, oh, okay, I see what was wrong. If you do it every day, the same game again and again and again, it's just, you're going to burn out on it. So,
Speaking of designing games, what would it take for the Philippine designers to create or produce its own legacy style game?
just make one.
Make
There's no secret to it. You design a game. You play a bunch of games. It's like cooking. How do you become a better cook? Well, you
start cooking.
start cooking. How do you get good at guitar? Start playing guitar. How do you make a Filipino legacy game? Be Filipino and make a legacy game.
That's a great.
It's like there's no magic to it. It's just I take it back. There's a little bit of hidden stuff, which is a lot of stuff in a legacy game you don't see at the beginning. It's in boxes or hidden and stuff. And knowing the manufacturing process of a game helps you hide stuff better without spending a lot of money hiding it. If that makes sense, like you kind of understand manufacturing processes does help you do some of the things for legacy games that aren't as obvious. That's about it.
Then, a final question. Actually, this is more asking for an advice. What advice would you give up and coming Filipino game designers?
Same advice I'd give any game designer. I mean, I don't know enough about the Philippines to know what advice Filipino designers would need that would be different than Canadian designers or Brazilian designers. I think of game design as a craft, and I just said this, which is if you want to be a good musician or cook or anything, tailor, see what other people are doing, and then just practice a lot, and eventually you will find your own way of doing things. The way other people do it isn't the way you're going to do it, but if you're like, I'm not going to play any games, I'm just going to make my own, well, you're not going to learn from them. And if you play a bunch of games and say, I'm going to do exactly what they do, you're never going to have your own voice. So it's a matter of just playing and then making your own game, and that game will be bad because you've never done it before. And then you'll make another game and it'll be almost as bad because you've done it once. And eventually you'll make a game that isn't bad, and that might be your second game, or it might be your 10th, or it might be your 20th. There's no shortcut to making a game. You mentioned Filipino, and I don't want to be disrespectful of the question. I just don't know why or how it would be different here. I'm sure there's some cultural differences that I'm unaware of because I'm new to the country, but
I ask that question because I know some people that this is more of a personal side, because I've asked some people that I know they want to design their own game, but they keep stalling their decisions to do it because they're scared to maybe get judged by other people.
yeah, it's very
or
hard. It
that's
sucks.
They don't have the budget to do it, or they don't have the time to
There's
do
no
it.
budget. You just need scrap paper and a pen, right? And you can make a board game. You don't need to have high-end art to make a prototype. You just need to make a concept. But no, when you make a game and then you get your friends to play it, every single time I'm like, this is going to hurt, because they play it and it doesn't work. And you're like, I worked very hard on this and it didn't work. Why is that? And then you just learn that that's what happens. And it's not fun. It's the least fun part of the job. but it happens to everyone. I was just on a panel with a bunch of designers. We all do this professionally or semi-professionally. We've all achieved various levels of success and awards, and we're all like, we make games that are very, very bad, and then we just keep doing it until they get better.
Actually, that's a great advice. Like, just do it, and it's gonna.
Just make a bad game, write a bad book, write a bad song, make a bad dinner, and then learn like why was that bad, and then try again.
Actually, I remembered when you said make a bad game. Like, I remembered, if you're familiar with Goat Simulator,
Yeah,
it's just a bad game for the designers, and they just released it, and everyone loved it.
yeah. I mean, some you never know, right? You never know. But like, I had a friend who said, "I'm going to write a great book," and I said, "No, you're not. You're going to write a horrible book. Write a horrible book, and then come back to me and say, now I'm going to write a less horrible book." And she never wrote the book because she wanted it to be a great book. She didn't want to write a bad book. Like, there's no shortcuts.
Taking the time.
It's like, oh, I want to be a great golfer right away. Like, oh, no one would say that. You're like, how you got to practice? You got to go out, and maybe you're never great, but you're better than you were. And it's the exact same thing.
You've heard it, guys. Just make bad board games. Just start.
Just make bad board games, and then give your friend food or beer or whatever they want to play your bad game, and then they'll say, this is bad. And you go, yeah. And then you go, but was any part not bad? Find the one fun thing. And you're like, okay, that was fun. Surrounded by a bunch of junk. And then you take that one fun thing and you try to make the next version of it, or you just say that there was nothing worth saving. Sorry, wasted everyone's 45 minutes. And don't make them play it forever. If the game's bad, just say, okay, this isn't working, and just stop. Some people like have a bad game and they're like, you need to finish. I worked hard. No, you don't. You got all the information you need. It's bad. And that's okay. Why was it bad is the question. What was good? How do you make it better?
Oh, that's a great advice.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great advice for everyone. So, start playing and start creating bad board games, everyone. This is Sir Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
knighting me, Sir Rob.
Where can they find you, sir?
We're at this table for the next couple of minutes, and then
Do you have any socials that can?
you know what? I don't do social. I came out of the pandemic and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Actually, good
I'm
cause.
just like I'm gonna live my life quietly now, not in public. No one needs to see what I'm making for dinner.
That's a good call. I wish I can do that.
And I'm also at a different place of my life. Like I said, I came out of the pandemic and I'm like, it was in my early 50s, and I'm like, I don't think anyone want to do this anymore. And sorry, I'm a secret now.
Sir, welcome to RD3 and welcome to the Philippines.
Yeah, it's been excellent.
Is it your first time here in the Philippines?
It's my first time, yeah, Southeast Asia.
How are you finding the Philippines, sir?
I'm finding the people to be amazing.
My first question, sir, is you started Plaid Hat Games after being rejected by big publishers. What advice do you have for Filipino designers facing the same wall?
It's a lot different than when I was doing it. So it was back in 2008 probably that I was showing it to publishers. At the time, there were smaller publishers, but there wasn't very many of them. And so there was so I showed it to Hasbro because I had worked on HeroScape as a developer, a contracted developer. And so when I I already had the ins there, but it wasn't really right for them, and they didn't think it would be right for Wizards either, because Wizards was very focused on, and it still is, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. And I tried to show it to Fantasy Flight Games, but I got lost in an inbox somewhere, and I didn't try very hard. And then I didn't want to show it to anybody small because I figured I could be a small company. I didn't need somebody else, another small company, to do it because I knew I wanted to be in games long term. Ultimately, as a publisher now, or as a designer now, you got a multitude of options, and it's really about what you want to do, what you feel like your acumen's in. If you want to be in the business side, there's lots of routes to self-publishing. It's easier than ever. It's easier than ever to find a printer. It's easier than ever to find a distributor. It's easier than ever to find a printer. So
And for marketing, you have social media.
Right. Yes. There's a lot of opening. You have to build an audience that, self-publishing is not easy. But if it's something that you want to do and feel like you'd be good at, those options are there. If you don't feel like you'd be good at that, a publisher brings a lot to the table. Not least of which is experience and money to develop an audience from their past games. As far as how to show and approach it, you're going to deal with a lot of like unresponsiveness because there are a lot of designers out there and they're all trying to get their game seen. And I myself will get several emails a day of people trying to show designs. I could spend 100% of my time just looking at designs, but we're not looking to publish 100 designs a year. So it would make sense for me to spend all my time doing that. So it can be difficult. My suggestion would be to get involved with a company that you really love their games. How to get involved. Ask if they have any opportunities for playtesting. Come to an event like this and help them demonstrate games. It's a contracted job. It probably doesn't pay super well, but it helps cover your trip, and it gives you a chance to speak with the people who are already working there, to build a rapport with them. Then they're a lot more, then they're a lot more likely to want to see your game.
Next question, sir, is your games are known for thematic storytelling. How do you see board games and TTRPGs sharing that same DNA?
So our board games that are about storytelling, they're all, we do very thematic games, so they're all kind of, if it's very bland, we're not publishing it. So the storytelling is kind of in all the DNA, but specifically our games that we call storytelling games or market them as that. They share a lot of DNA with an RPG. They're basically trying to be an RPG without the need for a dungeon master, a game master. So, especially like our Crossroads line, we utilize voice actors in an app, and you punch in codes so that you still have that, that dungeon master.
Yeah, the interactivity,
So, like if you're into tabletop RPGs and you're looking to do something or you're into it from like you've seen it, you've observed it, you think you'd be into it, check out our game Freelancers. It's the classic kind of fantasy setting turned on its ear, but it's plays like an RPG without the need for all the setup or learning tons of rules or
is it available downstairs?
I don't know. I don't think it is here today. But it should be available through the gaming library. And if it isn't, they can get copies. If it isn't, I'll talk to Hans.
We'll put the links of the game Freelancer when we find the links in the description down below. But actually, I'm a big TTRPG guy. I'd love to try that because
I can get
it's removing the
barriers.
The barriers of I need to find a GM to play with me.
Right.
I just need to, because some of the barriers that when you play TTRPG, you have a group but no one wants to GM.
Right.
So if that game those games remove those barriers, it certainly helps.
It's a huge barrier. Like there's lots of like live plays podcasts that are for TTRPGs. There's things like Stranger Things where like clearly the culture has been exposed to it, but it's still a huge barrier to actually play one.
Yes, that is true because when. Personally speaking, when the Stranger Things finale aired or the finale season aired, there are a lot of people asking to play games, but I'm only one person. I can't run for everyone.
Sure.
Like it's a big barrier for me or for them. They want to play.
They're trying to find somebody. Oh, you know about role playing games? Can you run one for us?
Like I have a day job. I have this. I have other stuff to do.
This is a great thing to recommend to them, or play with them without having to do all the work.
I am a lazy DM.
But the Crossroads games are a whole line. Like we got one about pirates, we got one about space adventure, and they're all play like that, where it's like the DM is professional voice actors in your phone.
That's a really great idea because I have a game group. I'd like that to try with them.
All right.
My final question, sir. What does a Filipino game need to do to catch your attention?
I mean, the same thing that any game. I don't think it would be any different for a Filipino game than any other game. Um, which is it's hard to define, because if I knew exactly what was going to be a successful game, I would only make successful games, and that hasn't been the case. So it needs not only to be a great game, that has to be there, but it needs to have something about it, some X factor that suggests that the game is going to be marketable, that it's going to be able to cut through the noise of the hundreds of games that come out every day, and find an audience, and part of that is something unique about it, or just something appealing, an elevator pitch, a short pitch that you could make to the customer as to why they should pay attention for longer and look further into this game. So what that is, I don't know. I know it when I see it, just like pornography.
Thank you very much, Sir Colby, for getting us the time for this interview. Where can our audience find you?
You can find at plaidhatgames.com. You can find our social media links there, and you can explore our games there.
Thank you very much, for Colby. This is CJ for RD3. See you here and roll for initiative, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.